Hey, how you doing today? I am Taquila Coleman. In today's video, we're going to talk about you never stop fighting spiritually, okay? I need you to understand, okay, the real reason why God has called you to stand for your God ordained marriage promise. You must begin to understand why God, is having you to cover your marriage, cover your prodigal in prayer, right? Why is he having you to fast, right? It's more than marriage. It's more than just for marriage restoration. God is trying to get us to understand that we live in a world where there's a real enemy. And the enemy's goal or purpose is to steal, kill, and destroy your life. Okay. As long as you are not bothering the enemy and you have decided to live for Christ, the enemy is going to come for you. The enemy is going to always be coming for you. Even after God restores your marriage, the enemy is still going to come and try to destroy your life. Right. And prayer and fasting, right, and living an obedient lifestyle to the Lord is how you stay in the protection of the Lord. So I need you to understand, right, that you know you're not just God. He's not just having you to pray and fast just for marriage restoration. He's trying to shift your mindset into understanding prayer, understanding the power of fasting, but also understanding that in order to live in this world, you must be equipped. You must understand that there's a real enemy in this world because the enemy is going to always be attacking your life. I'm a living witness, right? Y'all know my story. Abandoned twice when I got pregnant with my last two children, right? Now, at that time, I didn't know anything about witchcraft. I didn't know that witches and warlock was a real thing, right? I didn't know each time I picked up the phone talking to family members on the phone about, situation, baby daddy one, baby daddy two. I didn't know that I was talking to witches and warlocks on the phone, right? And each time I would tell them, how this child's father is now acting right or now is deciding to be a father to my child. I didn't know behind the scenes now they back attacking the person with spell. They doing their witchcraft, they doing these rituals, right, only to cause the parent to no longer desire a relation with their child, right? So it took for me to come into this God ordained promise for me where God began to reveal to me that Tequila, you're living in a world where there's a real enemy. You live in a world where there's witches and warlocks who they don't mind your child being fatherless. They will attack, okay, the fathers with these love spells, separation spells, and cause their heart to go cold and harden towards their own child, right? So I had to go through these things. I had to see these things to get the revelation that I can't just live in this world and not be on my prayer post. I can't just live in this world and not be fasting. I can't just be living in this world and be blind to the enemy. I have to learn the tactics of the enemy. I have to learn that whatever God blesses me with, the enemy is going to come and try to attack it. Right? So I need you to understand, okay? Because some of you, you're going through a divorce right now with your prodigal. And you're like, well, do I still fight, Tequila? Yes, you still fight. And we're talking about spiritual fight. Yes, you still pray. Yes, you still fast. You don't ever stop doing these things, okay? Because even if, the enemy is successful in bringing this to a divorce, the enemy's still going to try to come and tear up your whole life. The next thing the enemy is going to do is a graveyard ritual, right? If you try to enter into another relationship, here come the enemy trying to about to attack that next relationship until you get the revelation that we live in a world where there's a real enemy. We live in a world where there's people who are bitter in heart, who work for the kingdom of darkness, and they don't mind no second thought about attacking your life with witchcraft because they don't want to see you happy, right? So I need you all to understand, okay? You always fight. It doesn't matter what you're going through. You always fight. You never stop fighting spiritually. You never come off that prayer post. You never stop fasting. Fasting is supposed to be a part of a Christian lifestyle. Scripture say when you fast. So it's supposed to be a part of your lifestyle. Scripture talks about, how we are to pray at all times, pray without ceasing, pray about everything, right? So you never stop doing these things because these are your weapons. These are spiritual weapons to help you to fight the enemy back. This is how you protect yourself, your marriage, your relationship, your possession, right? So again, God, yes, he promised you marriage restoration. He promised you, restoration of your marriage. And he's telling you to, he called you to stand and cover your spouse in prayer. But I need you to understand, why is God teaching me this? Why is he taking me through this training period? Why? Because he's trying to reveal to you, in order to live in this world, you have to be aware that there's a real enemy operating in this world. And the enemy is going to come for believers. If you are trying to live right for God, the enemy coming for your life. He's going to come. He's going to attack your children. He's going to attack your next relationship. He's going to attack your finances. And if you don't want to come up under the enemy's attack, you have to learn how to fight. You have to learn how to persevere even through, whatever the devil sends your way. So the question, the question need to go away. Do I continue to fight to kill it? Yes. If you live in this world, yes. If you don't fight, the enemy is going to overtake you. The enemy is going to overtake you. It wasn't until God led me into this process and he taught my hands how to fight. He taught me about the things I didn't know. Now I can protect my children. Now I know how to protect my relationship from the attacks of the enemy. The enemy's goal is to cause your children to be fatherless. The enemy want to keep you in a cycle of rejection and abandonment, never having what your heart desires. But when you allow God to teach your hands to war and prayer and fasting, when you allow God to give you this revelation concerning the kingdom of darkness plan will never prevail in your life because you already know. This is how I protect what is rightfully mine. This is how I protect my relationship. This is how I protect my finances. This is how I protect my purpose and calling. This is how I move in this world. Okay? So understand, you never stop fighting spiritually. All right. So with that, I am Taquila Coleman. I'll talk to you real soon. Take care.